I mean, it was only a matter of time before Diddy was hit with another lawsuit, right? And I'm talking about 2 more lawsuits and possibly more to come. It is messy, 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 and brother love is over here for real. Oh, another name has also been dropped. Aaron Hall, who even left a paper trail of how he slept with a 16-year-old. I got out the limo, grabbed the hand, one upstairs, the okay. Let's start with the second lawsuit that came after Cassie filed. So a woman named Joy Dickerson Neal filed a complaint in Manhattan Supreme Court a day before the New York State Adult Survivors Act expiration date and alleged that she was drugged and taken advantage of by Diddy. Joy is seeking unspecified compensatory damages for mental and emotional injury, distress, pain and suffering, and injury to her reputation. Honey, the details in the lawsuit are crazy and echo a lot of the things Cassie said in her lawsuit. But is she also seeking like $100 million for what Diddy did to her girl? If you thought that Diddy only started being volatile after he got rich, you couldn't be more wrong. Apparently and allegedly, his behavior goes way back because the incident Joy describes in her lawsuit took place in 1991. Now, in 1991, Diddy had not yet released his debut album, No Way Out, and at the time, he was still working as a talent director at Uptown Records. But Joy said that she and Diddy shared mutual friends and acquaintances, and she even once appeared with Diddy in a music video around the time he took advantage of her. As for what exactly happened between them, Joy said in her lawsuit that while on a school break for the holidays in 1991, she, a college student at Syracuse University at the time, reluctantly agreed to dinner with Diddy. According to the lawsuit, Joy was reluctant because she had already heard of Diddy's alleged mistreatment of women at the time that she met with him and was cautious around him. So she chose a place she felt comfortable, a restaurant where she worked. But even that did not help her. Allegedly, during their date, Diddy intentionally drugged her, resulting in her being in a physical state where she could not independently stand or walk. He had apparently spiked her drink when she left her drink unattended to use the restroom. So after dinner, which they had at a location where she worked as a server, the two continued to spend the night together. And Joy recalled Diddy taking her to a music studio and then to a house she thought was his home, where the incident allegedly took place. And she felt humiliated and hurt, yet she could not escape. She said that while in the car on the way to the studio, she took a puff of a blunt under pressure from Diddy, and from that point on, her memory just goes blank. And guess what? Apparently, Diddy videotaped the incident, which happened in January 1991, and distributed the tape to others in the music industry. And that caused severe harm to Joy's reputation, career prospects, and emotional well-being. In fact, a male friend, also identified as Devon Swing, a member of the R&B group Jodeci, revealed to Joy that he viewed the tape along with other men. Joy then said that after that, her life went into a tailspin. She was admitted to a hospital for severe depression and even had thoughts of ending her life. When all that was happening, she was trying to gain a foothold in the music industry, working as a location scout for an industry cameraman. And despite her allegations of emotional pain, Joy continued to work in the music industry at a DJ management company. You know what? The part about Diddy recording Joy and distributing the tape sounds awfully familiar. And that is because something very similar happened to Cassie as well. In her lawsuit, Cassie talked about how Diddy would make her sleep with other men at what he called freak-offs, and he would have her wear costumes like masquerade masks and lingerie. She also said that Diddy insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black man he hired to sleep with her. And Diddy recorded everything on her phone. Cassie would actually delete videos from these incidents that had been shot on her phone, but Diddy told her he still had access to those videos. And on a flight, he once made her watch a video she thought she had deleted. There was actually a time when the videos and photos were making rounds in the industry, and 50 Cent even confirmed that he saw explicit footage of Cassie, worse than what was even going around. So, if we are talking about Diddy distributing footage he recorded himself, at least Joy can bank on the fact that she is not alone. Anyway, the lawsuit also notes that Diddy has a history of other cases against women, as documented in publicly available lawsuits and extensive media coverage. And it goes ahead to mention how on May 8, 2017, Cindy Lou, Diddy's personal chef, filed a suit in the Superior Court in the state of California. It also mentions how in 2019, Jenna Hun, an ex-girlfriend of Diddy, detailed in an interview how he treated her. Of course, they also noted Cassie's recent lawsuit in the Southern District of New York, where she detailed how Diddy forced her to film herself hooking up with paid male sex workers and forced himself on her. Oh, in case you are wondering why Joy took so long to file, she said that she filed police reports at unspecified agencies in New York and New Jersey and spoke to several prosecutors hoping to press charges and was told her allegations would need to be corroborated. She also said that within no time, Diddy had experienced great success with the launch of the late Notorious Big's career, whose hit single Juicy had charted on Billboard, and witnesses were terrified that Diddy would retaliate against them, and they would lose their future business and music opportunities if they made a statement in support of her lawsuit. Goes on to say that despite her emotional pain, she was working at one of her employer's parties when she ran into Diddy and did her best to avoid talking with him. However, despite her efforts, Diddy backed her into a corner and inappropriately confronted her in public. Joyce said that her employer noticed how Diddy was getting dramatic, but she could not say anything because her employer worked with Diddy a lot. She also said that she tried her best to avoid reliving the incident and even moved to another city, but it was the filing of the lawsuit of Cassie on November 16, 2023, that forced her to face her fears. In addition, Joy noted that despite several attempts, she has not been able to finish her college degree as her subconscious associates her studies with the incident. According to her, Diddy's conduct forever changed the trajectory of her career, denying her what might have been a lucrative and successful career in the music industry, and she is confident she can prove her case through at least a dozen witnesses to testify to her severe emotional distress and harm that she's experienced. Unsurprisingly, Diddy denied the allegation, with a spokesperson saying that the last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head. In a statement, they said Miss Dickerson's 32-year-old the story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grant and nothing more. But maybe he was not expecting the third lawsuit from a woman using the name Jane Doe, who said she and a friend met Diddy and Aaron Hall at a music industry event, and she claimed both men were overly flirtatious, offering them drinks throughout the night. But the intention was to take advantage of her and her friend. Like people have been saying, just because Cassie decided to settle does not mean that more allegations will not come up. And with Joy, it also gives her account of what happened to her. There is a high possibility that other people could also be coming for Diddy with 3 lawsuits so far, and possibly more by the time you are watching this video. Anyway, after the event, Jane Doe claims that they both were invited to Aaron Hall's place for an after party where he and Diddy took advantage of her allegedly after a day finished doing his business. Jane Doe laid in bed, shocked and traumatized, and as she was in the process of getting dressed, Aaron Hall barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced himself on her. She alleges that she escaped from the apartment and found out a friend had a similar experience with both Diddy and Aaron. Feel like they were taking turns is so disgusting, honestly. When you remember how Aaron Hall talked about his first encounter with a 16-year-old Gloria offs on Vlad, this incident is highly believable. I got out of the limo and grabbed the hand, went upstairs, and he also said that Diddy has seen he cooks up with girls, so he knows his size. So again, very believable that would take turns with Diddy to force himself on somebody. Additionally, Jane Doe alleges Diddy became volatile when he saw her and her friend a couple of days after the incident and even choked her until she passed out. Apparently, and allegedly, Diddy was searching for Jane Doe's friend because he was worried that she would tell the girl he was with at the time what he and Aaron Hall had done to them. At this rate, you all Diddy give his lawyer a bunch of blank checks, because I have a feeling this won't be the last. But what are your thoughts on Diddy facing more lawsuits? Do you think it's enough for him to just be dishing out cash and not getting arrested and going to trial and then under the prison? And what of Aaron Hall getting dragged into the mess as well? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.